Okay, and we are live on the Power Chat series for post show number 2. This time, the Florida Gateway Challenge with Christopher Rivas. How are you doing, Christopher?
I'm doing good. Just finishing my classes right now.
Good. This is actually the first time I have you on the Power Chat series. I have interviewed your brother many times, so I'm excited to have you on for the show because I know that you come from a family of martial artists and
Yeah.
finally get that other perspective of the Rivas family. Now, this is the post show, so tell me about how you did at the Florida Gateway Challenge. I know it was about half a month ago. It happened in July, and let's just talk how it went.
That went super cool. At the first, I don't want super excited to go because I just recovering from an injury. But my friend John, what is the person when I work for, he asked me to go to a tournament where he was injury also too, and he couldn't fight. And he say, "Well, we don't want to nobody win this tournament. We just take it home." And I've been a little bit better on my legs. So I take it like a test to see how I'm doing it to come back to compete again.
And
And
it
it was
turns
an
out that
awesome
you
tournament.
Yeah, and it turns out that you ended up winning anyway.
Yeah.
So how did your fights go? What was the competition, not only in your division, but around as well?
Well, we make like a huge open rink, and then everyone was fighting over there. And then the first fights, I don't remember. It was a while ago, but I ended up winning the fight. Like I don't remember the score either, but it was. I remember it was one of the Warner fights. You know, sometimes you get that Lukey fight and that part, and then I get that one for for the first fight, and then John tried to fight, but he wasn't feeling good with his rib, and then he bow out to let me fight in the next one, and then I did like three more fights on the tournament.
Okay. And for it being a relatively local division, a local tournament, having set up so 3 fights after this plus one that was bowed out and then your first one, that would have been 5 fights. That's pretty
Yeah,
deep. That's deep. Talk
yeah,
about who
it
else
was
was there.
impressive. A lot of people joined that tournament for the local tournament.
Right, yeah. So, um, that's impressive to
Yes.
draw that out. I mean, I know Florida to begin with has a lot of fighters, and it's not surprising that they would go to the tournament. Who else was there?
I don't know the name of them, but it was a lot of the local schools, none of the other big names, but it was only a local fighters and a local black belts. The only one was there was John, and he couldn't fight.
Okay, so this is a good opportunity for you to ease your way back in after an injury. Now,
Yes,
how
it's
are you
that's
feeling?
what I took it. I took it like, well, let's see how far I can go. But I'm planning out on therapy right now with my legs. And then they told me I get the next tournament for me. Pro is going to be the Pan Ams.
Yeah, that's going to be a great tournament. Alex's and his father putting it on. I know Alex is going to be taking on a bigger role, and it's going to attract a lot of good fighters. Who?
Mm.
What weight division? What weight class are you in?
I was like an open weight. They only do it one. That was too many fights for that reason because they only connect all the fighters and then everyone's fight on that one.
Mhm.
All the divisions. But I used to fight on heavyweight division.
Okay. All right. Now you're at the karate school right now. You're also an instructor. Talk
Yes.
to me a bit more about your journey in martial arts, how you started, and where you are right now.
Well, I started in Venezuela like at 5 years old because I wasn't good on teen sports because I was a kid with ATSD and I paid attention to everything else and now paying attention to the game. And then in Venezuela at that time, nobody knew what was the ADHD. And then my dad just ended one day meeting the school of the Master Tony, or was the Master Felipe Conde, and then I ended started learning from there, and then I stopped a couple for 4 years because I started to the college stuff, and then I gained a lot of weight, and then I moved to a new country, and then I couldn't train anymore. I actually started training a year and a half when I started working for Chop House here. And my first tournament to come back, it was Pan Am's last year, and I win my division on the Pan Am's last year, and then lose the finals overall against Brian.
Okay. And how can you explain a little bit more about how martial arts helped or was a good fit for someone who has ADHD and not team sports necessarily? Why was that a good fit for you?
Well, it's because it was more about me. I was focused about more what I'm doing it. That doesn't mean it was easy. It was hard anyway because it's hard because I never take a medicine for ADHD. I never know it was a medicine about it. And then I have a plan to go over it. Sometimes it's hard to focus on the drills and stuff like that. But I get in love with the sport. And then sometimes I just go over focus on my stuff. And exactly happened when I'm teaching. Literally, I start again training and competing again because I start teaching here. Because I was about to retire because I wasn't in competing shape. I was always losing, and I was having that conversation with my brother, saying, "Well, I think it's my time to retire. Focus on my life, start working, stuff like that." But then my master Tony told me, "Well, do you have opportunity to start teaching again? Well, how you feel about it?" And I was like a little bit, let's give it another chance. Let's see, his teaching helped me a little bit better to get a little bit more motivation to start. And then I start teaching and meet in this awesome school here in Chop House, Deltona. Working with John is awesome. I love my kids over here. And then that was the one of the other team where they fight on. Get it? What was the name of the tournament? I forgot the name.
Florida Gateway.
And Florida Gateway because one of my students told me, "Well, I want to see you fight Mr. Chris." Say, "Okay, that's the last decision. The kids decided it," and I say, "Okay, let's do it."
Awesome. What makes you've taught in different schools before, but what makes it a good experience as an instructor, an enjoyable one for you?
I don't know. Just right now, I find it super emotional for me because I haven't and that breaking moment. You know, when you feel like you can't do this anymore, and then you have something to fight for, and then it's like a click on my head, and then I need start doing diet, start going back on shape. Unfortunately, I have these injuries. I knuckle up when I get second place, but I keep pushing it. I keep going to the doctor, see what the physiotherapist to say, because I want to get better. I want to see. I think I have much more to give to my students, and then to show Mr. Chris can do it too.
That's wonderful. And what more do you have that you believe needs to get done, not just for your students, but for yourself?
For myself, I need to lose weight. That's my biggest issues right now. I'm overweight too much, and then that's when my doctor say, your body is telling you you need to lose weight. You're not having a good time doing this because you're overweight too much. And then that's when I'm focused right now. I'm on diet. I'm trying to train a little bit, the little possible what I can do. I start doing it. Start walking. Start doing stuff like low impact to my knees, to my heels, because that's the more painful what I have right now.
Hmm.
And then sometimes I do a couple sparring drills and stuff like that to don't lose the timing on the fight. Especially right now, this generation is incredible fast.
Yeah, right. I don't know what it is, but the speed is just insane. It's gone to like double the speed.
Yes,
Now, even in of course you would assume that like the lighter weights are fast as well, but even throughout all of the weight classes, you got to deal with the
yeah. You
speed.
have people like Avery Plowden on it. You have Cam Dawson. It's impressive looking Cam Dawson moving. Say, bro, it is like 200 pounds guy that can move like a lightweight. And then that's part of my motivation to say, if they can do it, I can do it too. Why not?
Mm.
It was always awesome fight when I fight with Cam or Clouden. I always enjoy it.
Whenever I see Cam, I think I would never ever want to be caught with a D side by Cam.
Well, they have a good video of me getting one of those. We was
Yeah.
fighting on Chicago for team fights, and they timed me and get me a good D side.
Oh my goodness. And that must talk about ribs. And I know for me, when I was fighting, call me a baby, but always under my uniform, I would wear my my like rib because I don't want a broken rib. But now, so one of your goals is not only to lose weight, to diet, but also to do that through martial arts, right? And how does having how does it take discipline and self-control on this journey, and have you learned that through martial arts?
Yes, that's one of the hardest things for me because I have ADHD. I sometimes I forget to eat. I didn't eat all day, and then on my way home I say, well, I'm tired. I work all day. I just want to eat McDonald's, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hard part because training, I love training, especially with my kids. I always do the drills with them, and it's like always is connected to them right now. And then that's what I'm 100% of my school is still. I'm here like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and always improving on what more we have to do to be better. Not only them, just me too. And then sometimes I get John to do it.
All right. That's a lot of dedication, and it's a lot of self-awareness that you have to know, like, this is where I want to go. This is where I'm at now, and I need to get there. Is that something that what is some of the lessons, not just how to fight and how to do forms and weapons, that you like to pass on to your students?
One of the lessons what I try to pass to my student is you always have a little bit more inside of you because I saw this one a lot in my school. Kids what they have a potential to be a great champions, but they failed one time and they broke down. They don't want to try anymore because I can't do this. And that's what I've always been there for them. Say, well, listen, let's try one more time. I want to tell you what you're doing wrong. Try to do this stuff a little bit different. Think a little bit out of the box. See, probably you thinking using a straight line, and that's why it's not working. Try to focus the problem to different ways. And then when they success on the same problem where they fail, it's awesome and it's something where they can use in their real life because sometimes you've only focus on the problem and you don't have time to focus on the solutions what you have around it.
Okay, yeah, and that's a lesson that, like you said, is applicable not just to the mat, but off of it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, that is going to wrap up our post show for the Florida Gateway Challenge. And overall, is this a tournament that you would? I know it was a quick decision to go, but would you go back again?
Yes, I definitely told John, well, we have to do it again. It was fun and it's always good to support the Florida tournaments.
Yeah, definitely. And if you ever decide to put your own tournament on as well, you get their support. It's all a community. It's all a network, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Christopher, thank you so much for coming on the Power Chat series to talk about the tournament, some of your goals for the future, as well as where you started in martial arts and where you are now. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And congratulations again on making your debut and, really pushing through to get where you want to be.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully we do another one after